Howdy, everybody. Welcome on into the cargo bay where it's time for a little bit of hobby talk and BC, a little bit of card opening. Just a little bit.
Yeah, baby.
A blaster box for the Blaster Boys.
Hey, that how apt, how appropriate.
But I'm
know?
burying the lead here, BC, because what this really is today is the Sea-Doo special.
Yeah, we're pivoting full Sea-Doo content all the time. Everyone who's been with us through all the top Star Wars stuff, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hope you're ready to go for a magical ride on a lake in a motorized boat that rides like a motorcycle.
See, VC and I have made a calculation that we can be more successful as Sea-Doo influencers than trading card influencers. I believe we bring this, if all of you stay with us and we bring this 500 member strong audience to the Sea-Doo theater. We'll be flooded in jet skis. We'll have jet ski giveaways every week, I think. I mean, Sea-Doos. I mean, legally distinct
Sea-Doo, yes.
We're going for Sea-Doo.
Potentially as a contractual obligation, Sea-Doo specific. And you guys know if you're one of the first 500 with us, you're going to get Sea-Doo priority. So
that's right. You're going to be on that Sea-Doo list.
Behooves you to stick with us.
BC, one other thing I want to say before I tell people to like and subscribe is when I watch these videos back, I notice that a lot of the time I got like a little bit of shadow on my face. Let me explain this. I am not attempting to grow facial hair. I cannot. I'm in my mid-30s. It doesn't exist. I have just now hit the point where I have to remember to shave for the first time in my life, where it's like, oh, I got to get rid of that stuff. It's gross. Sorry, I forgot. So let's get that out of the way.
This is a prosthetic that I put on for every record. I'm naturally very baby faced, so
when I do shave, I sometimes push the shaving cream out to imagine I have a whole beard.
Oh yes, I better go all the way up here.
I'm just hoping that before I lose my hair on top, I get a little more filling in. Is that a thing that happens? Do people grow their first beard when they're like 43? Because I get like 10 new hairs every year, I feel like.
I feel like it's just going to be like an exponential explosion for you one day, where you're just going to go from like that to just like a full Gandalf style beard.
I think I'd look good. I bet my wife would be happy.
Undoubtedly.
Well, but like and subscribe, folks. Let's hit the document.
Let's get into it.
What would you Sea-Doo?
This is a great question now that we are big time Sea-Doo influencers. I just wanted to present a few Sea-Doo options for everybody out there. And I promise I'm going to do some mental gymnastics to tie this into actual Star Wars trading cards here in a little bit. Maybe.
We've got a lot to say about Star Wars trading cards. Still, currently, maybe not forever, but currently we're mixing the two.
Yeah, we still got thoughts, yeah. I did just, because what I was looking at when we last spoke was just the current listing of Sea-Doos that are on the market right now, the 2024s, straight from the website. And I wanted to go and look up a few classics to kind of look at what budget we're working with, because previously we were kind of discussing trading cards in terms of Sea-Doo value.
Right.
Now, obviously, not all Sea-Doos are made the same.
No.
Right? You've got your Sea-Doo XP from 1994. That's a good-looking machine. Now, does it run super great? I can't speak for that, but knowing, hey, Sea-Doo, if you're listening, knowing Sea-Doo's quality, it's running like a champion.
Yeah.
But you can pick up this unit for $750. That's kind of the lower end Sea-Doo. Now, jumping a few years ahead in time, we're pushing our budget up. We're pushing our card and Sea-Doo budget up to the 1997 Sea-Doo Bombarded XP. It's $2,000. Now, I think you're paying for the style.
Yeah, that's a pretty machine there.
Look, that's a yellow you don't see.
That's a Power Ranger craft.
For sure.
Kimmy's riding that around before it turns into a Triceratops or whatever.
This was a Sea-Doo of a time and a place, as was the 94. And then, of course, I did include for the top of the line the 2024 Sea-Doo GTX Limited 300 White Pearl Premium, sitting at a sweet $20,000.
But only $232 monthly. So think
Oh,
about
well,
that in terms of your trading card budget. Maybe that's a drop in
yeah,
the pond or the lake, which is a good point to bring up, BC. Big
yeah.
difference in value if I'm getting a used Sea-Doo. Has this thing been on the salt water? Is this an ocean Sea-Doo or is
Mm,
this a lake Sea-Doo? Because those lake Sea-Doos, see the mechanism of the Sea-Doo, BC.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
propellerless, you know, so it's safe to fall
yeah.
off of, and it sucks water in and spits it back out. That's why you see the tail
Hmm.
coming out the end.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
sucking up that salt water. It's harder on, and I think boats in general, they have a harder life at sea in that salt water than they do sitting on a lake. So consider that in the history of your Sea-Doo.
Yeah.
I included
Something to definitely consider.
this picture here of the green Sea-Doo, BC, which is also probably 97. That's the Sea-Doo I believe that my family had when I was growing up. That three-seater in green, baby.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, you're a four-person family.
That's correct.
Now, what was the ride sharing scenario on the three-seater?
This is how things usually went. Uh, Usually, mom opted out on the Sea-Doo trip.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
occasionally,
Yeah.
you know, it would have rated like, oh, my sister's out of town. It's the three of us. And then eventually there hit a phase where my sister was like, I'm out. I'm 16. I'm not sitting on the back of this thing putting my hands around my brother or
Too cool to see do. Yeah, I
yeah,
got
and
it.
really you
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
to wrap your hands around it. You see that black handle on the back? I was usually
Mhm.
on the back and I just kind of had my hands on the back handle. That's
It's
also the
hold on.
storage compartment so you could take your collapsible fishing rod, stick an ice
Okay.
chest in there. But yeah,
Right.
a lot of the sea doing was either my sister, my father, and I, or eventually just dad and I out on the sea do, hitting the coves, throwing that line out.
Love that.
So yeah, this is a good selection of Sea-Doos. I got to know a little bit more about this GTX Limited 300 White Pearl Premium to know what, because I'm sure Sea-Doo does justify that $20,000 price, but need to know a little bit more about it.
Well, and of course, certainly we will know more about it when we're official Sea-Doo brand ambassadors.
That's right.
But if we want to move off of the Sea-Doos,
If
and
you
then
insist.
here's the mental gymnastics that we're gonna do to tie in the Sea-Doo. Now we have a keen eye for aesthetics, as demonstrated by the Sea-Doos that we've selected, and this particular slide was inspired by the comment from Duke Caesar 8031. Said, thanks for the regular dose of Star Wars card realism. I did get one box and got some decent number stuff and a couple of the better characters. So might break even with a Harrison autograph as I move some of these base inserts early to market. Thrawn, Vader, Guerrera, Arbesh. A lot of work to get $125 back. Yep, I think that's par for the course on a lot of this stuff. You can pick off steals of singles for your favorite characters, so appreciate that. But the next part of this comments is kind of what inspired us is you both have a good eye for aesthetics. Thank you. We will always take compliments in the comments. Have you considered ranking autograph and numbered base cards of characters based on visual appeal? I consider that the key in non-sport cards as opposed to rookies.
That's a good point. That's a good
It's a great point.
perspective.
I think it's definitely a good perspective, and this is just an initial sort of dipping of our toe into this. I do think as a larger project, we can certainly start looking at kind of ranking some of those sets aesthetically in the future. But I did want to include just some Han Solo aesthetic cards that I like. Personally, based off eye appeal. Now, I'm a green parallel man, so obviously I picked some green parallels. But I do like, so we've got the Chrome Legacy. This is 2019 Chrome Legacy, 2019 Skywalker Saga, and 2017 Stellar. So you got your 94 Sea-Doo is the Skywalker Saga. You can pick up this card for like $3. But I do really like these cards from Skywalker Saga. They're the first cards that you and I open together, so
We have a
there's
little
like
nostalgia baked in.
there's a nostalgia to it too. But I do like that it like nods at the original Starfield border. It's got kind of a change to it. I think generally they're a good like paper card in hand. So there's some fun stuff you can find in there. Chrome Legacy, I think, are really good cards. They've got great parallels, both the 2019 and 2021, I believe, was the most recent year they did Chrome Legacy. And for my money, we've never gone anywhere near Stellar as it's the premium pearl white Sea-Doo out there for us.
Yeah.
But the 2017, this particular look is like my number one aesthetic for those cards. They've had a lot of designs through the years. This one that's got the sort of like gold leafed circular background with the space sort of scene in the background, in that circle with the character popping in front of it. Like that's it for me. I was like, this is my favorite design. I know other people have other preferences, but I think in terms of eye appeal for me, the 2017 Stellar autographs, like if I could have all the money in the world, I would get those. I think they look fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people agree with that. They seem to like come up high in the rankings, you know, when people make those lists, and I think it's well deserved. They're pretty cards, BC. I do some of the paint splatter. I almost wish it was just a clean stripe, you know, on the top and bottom.
Well, I think there's levels to, like, I think that's how they kind of parallel these out. The ones that are like just all white with the circle on them which I guess is like the base version. I mean, they're all numbered, like they're all very limited, obviously, but the just like flat white with the circle in the background, those look particularly phenomenal to me. Yeah, there's a Rebels image of Ahsoka that's an Ashley Eckstein autograph that would be like my number one Ahsoka animated autograph to get if I could.
Y'all hear that out there? I know BC's got a birthday coming up.
A lot of money. Yeah. But anyway, I think as just like I like the idea. On the Sea-Doo scale, there's kind of a range here, but also aesthetically, I do like that more in terms of my personal collecting for stuff that's just not sports, right? Like in sports cards, collecting rookies makes 100% sense because if you're looking in terms of value, investment, whatever. But for non-sports stuff, eye appeal is going to play probably just as well as a rookie card because some first appearance cards are trash and look like garbage. So that's who really cares? You know what I mean?
Like if it's an ugly first appearance or rookie card, I don't care. If it is the first appearance and it's also a good looking card, I start to care a little bit, you know, like it might weigh a little higher than a card that's a little bit better looking or whatever. It's all a complicated calculation of aesthetics and value, and it's all very serious stuff.
Oh yes, of course. And as we know our loyal Sea-Doo viewers are as well. Drop in the comments if there's any aesthetically or eye-pleasing sets that or Sea-Doos also that you think we should feature, because I know there's a ton of Star Wars sets out there at this point, and everyone's got their own sort of style preferences, but let us know what you like. Let us know why you like it. I'm interested to hear that kind of stuff. So drop in the comments.
Yeah, I'll talk about that more at some point in time, I'm sure. But, you know, 2021 Galaxy is the absolute peak for me. Borderless, clean, one little stamp, and then artwork. Yeah. Ooh. Of course, there's a lot of... I miss the aesthetics of 90s card backs. Big time. The backs have gotten so plain and boring.
Yeah, they're the card back design in the 90s like transports me to another time and place.
Yeah.
Like so few things can do. But yeah, those are fantastic.
All right, I'm clicking this slide, BC. We're
We
moving
got
to the
from the
comments.
comments. Hey, from the comments, we got several comments
Thanks,
from the
y'all.
last video, which was our appreciate it, which is from our 2024 Topps Chrome Star Wars reaction. There, we got the first comment here from Cine M4RL. Is that your birth name? I think 2024 Chrome looks great. The Arabesh variants mean all the number cards are half as rare as they have been. There's 10 of 5s, 20 of 10s, 100 of 50s, etc. And sticker signatures are a huge meh for me. Peter Viles 6320 at the bottom note of Boo sticker autos. Come on, Tops. I agree. On card is obviously better, but I think you just kind of accept what we're gonna get at this point. Like I don't know. Like
I've never even
for
considered
this.
non-sticker autos as a possibility. Like
Yeah,
basically
just,
they don't usually show up in things that I can afford.
yeah.
At least they haven't since I started collecting, really. So I definitely agree. It's way cooler to have a card with the actual signature on it. But
oh, for sure.
you know, I'm mostly, if I have an auto, I'm not a big auto person anyway. So if I have one, it's going to be a sticker.
Yeah.
I appreciate it as an economical way of getting those signatures out, which I usually wouldn't say because usually the product is priced so high that it's still anyway. But in something like this, where genuinely the price of a Werner Herzog autograph has dropped so far, that's great to me. So you can get a sticker auto of Werner Herzog for a really cheap price. That's something that's pretty cool. So
I was so jazzed to get this.
it's
This
so
is
beautiful.
I love having this in my collection.
It's a great card. It looks good. The blue matches the pin.
It's fantastic. I think, you know, to me it's obviously it's not ideal, but if it means I can get a Werner Herzog auto in the collection, you know, I'll obviously take it.
Yeah, but they, to be honest, Topps probably could afford to throw us some non-stickers into the rotation, of course. But yeah, I don't think we even brought up the bummer of sticker autos when we first talked about this because I just accepted it as what it is.
It is what it is. Let's see. LV13 David said, I've watched several case breaks of Breaker's Delight. Delightful. And they are loaded with sketches. Also, they seem to have higher quality autos, but that could be an error of perception. The reflections cards are way rarer than a case hit, more like a palette hit. Wow. I'm really disappointed with how they those cards. There's no reason for them to be so rare. They should have put them in the next Galaxy set as a regular insert, in my humble opinion.
Agreed.
I think that is a good opinion. Yeah. No. The reflections cards look amazing. I get that they are. I mean, to me, it's arguably the biggest chase at this point in the set, just based purely off of the rarity of them. But they look fantastic.
There could be one in this blaster, BC.
Hey,
we'll find out in just a little bit.
That's right. Let's see. Sam's brought up the point. This is in regards to us not being thrilled about CGI characters.
And
yeah. Sometimes actors' families get paid for the CGI roles. They might need it. I'm pretty sure that was the case in Rogue One with Tarkin. Not 100% positive, but I think the internet told me that once. Always trust the internet. James Earl Jones got paid for letting Lucasfilm record him so he can voice Darth Vader 100 years from now, so I don't think it's a big deal. That said, I'm also good with recasting too. Yeah, it's a complex issue. I think if families can get compensation, I think that's probably good. And I heard that Ian Holmes' estate was like he would have loved to have done this if he were
alive.
I wonder how
reliable the narrator is. I mean,
yes, absolutely.
It's hard to know how he would have perceived something that was a technology that was being formed as he died, or in the case of Tarkin, long after he was dead. So I mean, you know, I personally, it still just feels icky to me to do that to someone who is dead and has no say in the matter. But in the case of a James Earl Jones, sure, you're with it. You want to sell your soul away, to be AI replicated in any project into the future. That's totally fair. I don't have any problem with that. Beyond, I just think it kind of sucks as a consumer to get, AI Darth Vader 100 years from now.
My biggest complaint with all of it is just the execution
Yeah.
in general of the CGI.
Yeah.
I think it looks bad. It does not look good on a big screen. So it's like, if you are going to reanimate the dead, like, do them justice and don't make it look like total CGI trash is kind of my bigger problem.
I mean, I guess,
don't know.
but if it were just a CGI creation and it weren't me watching, like, I guess I feel like a deep moral hole in the pit of my stomach. But I understand that that's also something that's personal and maybe even silly.
Yes.
Like, I'm not gonna, I would never argue like I'm right about this. I feel like I'm, yelling off my porch at the kids, but
like, I think it's so complex, and I genuinely like, if it doesn't, it weirds me out, but it doesn't, I don't know, breach certain ethical things for me. But for people that it does, I think that's fine. I think it's all strange.
It's valid to have a reaction to one of the weirder things that's.
I would honestly just rather them find an actor who is a good actor and put them in the same costume, and then we just are kind of like, oh yeah, they're playing that character.
Yeah, for sure.
We understand as humans that actors are not infinitely living creatures, so sometimes you got to replace them. And also that
their work is about their humanity. Presumably,
yes.
It should be. The work, as someone who was previously an actor and took it seriously for a brief period of my life, it was about expressing the truth of human emotion. So I think that's part of what I rub up against. But I hope if Ian Holmes' widow can get paid or whatever.
Maybe there's some good
for the best.
Silver lining.
So I'm sorry if I got a little bit heated talking about how upset that made me.
What's the Sea-Doo community gonna think of? I want to hit the next slide. We've got some more comments from the last video here. Matty Mac said, "Sweet job, guys. Enjoyable look at the new Star Wars Top Scrum. Couple of nice of 50 cards, and I'm happy. Breakers Delight Box is basically cheating. A bit of an FU. If you don't have money, not cool. Very interested to see 24 Galaxy. Yeah, boy.
I'm nervous about seeing that Galaxy.
Hey, Borderless Galaxy. We're on board here at the Cargo Bay. Definitely keeping our fingers crossed.
Didn't bring up that I did see sketches at a high rate in those packs as well. So I'm just glad to see sketches in Star Wars popping up. So.
Yeah, the next comment definitely calls us out for our lack of sketch recognition, and I believe it. I know we got called out. But no, that's true. I don't think we mentioned sketches at all.
We didn't.
Definitely more sketches, and they're doing a different thing with the back of the cards indicates some sort of rarity on the sketches, which I'm like, they're all 101s. Like, I don't know what are we doing here. But I get it. Fine. There's different backs on sketch cards now. That's cool. The printing plate has now turned into a booklet. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, what?
Yeah, they do.
Probably shouldn't have a podcast talking about these cards.
All 4 plates are now in a booklet that you can get. So instead of getting
that? I mean, obviously, it makes them more interesting to have the full collection and not try to chase the rainbow, but. Like this booklet made this card is kind of cool.
Yeah, I still kind of feel like I don't like printing plates. You know what I mean? Like, that's not aesthetically. I don't want a printing plate. Like, it's not something I would display. I do think the booklet makes it more displayable.
Yeah.
They're like, here's all 4 of the color plates that went into the creation of the card, which I do think is neat. But in general, I'm like, I think you're kind of plussing up something that I am indifferent about to begin with.
Well, do the plates include the parallel plates? How does that work? Well, we have
so yeah. Well, yeah, it's weird because I mean so you've got the 4 printing plates that are presumably the base colors. Maybe I'm not even gonna deign to think about the logistics of parallel backgrounds on printing plates.
Well, not thinking about it much, I'm gonna say I think this is cool. I would definitely
All
rather
right.
pull a booklet than a printing plate. So
I might have one in that
it could be.
blisty. Um, yeah, I'll jump to the last comment so we can get to some pack opening. Great show. Thank you. Stop. Appreciate it. Even when I always appreciate the discussion, even when it veers into the more serious topics like which CDU is appropriate for your current financial situations. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Regarding new Chrome, unfortunately, don't think those hobbies are going down simply because of potential value. Way more notable autos, Arabesh, other SPs is much higher than usual mid-range products. 2022 Finest, significantly worse set than 24 Chrome, but even those hobby boxers are selling in $300 range 2 years post-release. Obviously higher end, but the last 2 years of Masterwork are selling for around or above 700. 2021 was probably the worst Masterwork release in the brand's history. At the end of the day, this set, unlike most, has had hype around it. That is absolutely true. And that probably spells longer term high hobby box price, in my opinion. Yeah, I think the hype is gonna. I think it's dying down, but I do think it has inflated the prices, and those prices are going to remain up until demand for it just is like we're not going to pay that anymore. Like we've been burned by so many hobby boxes at this point that I know what I'm getting into. So I don't know. I think over time, I don't see 2024 Topps Chrome gaining value. You can quote me on the date and time when I said it and point to it when I'm wrong, but I just don't see it being like I'm so nostalgic for the 2024 Topps Chrome set because of all of those first debut patches. But what do I know?
Having opened some of it, BC, I'll say they're quality cards. It's
Yeah.
much more so than last year. These feel much more like a 2022 Finest than they feel like last year's Chrome.
Last year's Chrome quality was pretty
rough.
poopy. Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know anything, but maybe I'll really believe in it once we open this and I pull several very rare cards out of this. Thanks for the comments, everybody.
Appreciate
it. Even if you got to call us out, sometimes we need to be called out, BC.
Keep us honest.
Whoa, we just teleported to the pack opening because due to technical difficulties, I lost some video and all audio from this opening. So I'm just gonna talk through it here in the future, and also I've got it running at 2x speed. So we'll go pretty quickly through this. Here I'm just showing off the hits I got in the first box that I opened, and all of my guaranteed hits, all 4 of them, were these Blaster exclusive wavy parallels here. They're unnumbered, they look pretty good. They're similar to last year's Blaster exclusive parallels. And then some inserts I'm going through here, like these Palpatine inserts where I really like the lightning cheesy Palpatine letters. I mean, they're pretty hokey, but I like these cards a lot. And then I'm just showing this base refractor of Krennic to say, hey, look, you know, these cards look pretty good. So, getting into the new box, nothing really special about the box, and the packs are all the same image of Ahsoka. I believe they are 8 cards per pack. Maybe we'll count them here. I can't remember. I'm not positive. But yeah, the base cards look pretty good. Very shiny. These are very bowed, as Chrome often is. There's a base refractor. I think I demonstrate how warped these cards can be in the pack. That's nothing that should affect the value of the card, as far as I know. That's, like I said, pretty common with Chrome product to get that little bend in the cards. So we haven't hit a hit yet. We got Uncle Owen there. Melshi. Ray. And I'm noticing a print line there. That's what that is. I think a few times throughout this video I point out print lines. And then, oh look, a nice wavy Luke Skywalker. Oh no, I dropped it. That's a shame. But that was our first hit. a first appearance card there on top with that first appearance badge, which we have talked about in prior hobby talks. Nice wedge card, a refractor of K2SO, and that's our second pack. This time I am going to count the cards. That's 1. That picks us 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm wrong, there's 6 cards per pack. And there's our wavy Haja Estri. We already got a refractor of Haja, I think. Moving on to the next pack. Axe Woves, Dr. Quadpaw, Admiral Akbar, and then here's one of these gear inserts, and a refractor of R5D4. We'll see if this one's the one that has a big ol' hit in it. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing a big ol' hit, but maybe there's a big ol' hit in these cards. Hey, there's a nice Darth Vader insert. I really like these cards. I like that kind of red background on the back of the Vader. Also pulled that R5D4 blaster exclusive refractor right after I pulled the refractor out of the previous pack, the base refractor that is. And that happened a lot with my first box as well. I'd pull the refractor, and then the next pack I'd pull the exclusive refractor. And then we got a base refractor of Leda, Mon Mothma there. And here is our final pack. Last chance to get a mega hit. It could be in there. There's a nice Vel card and a Scad. Cool Plo Koon. We're getting toward the end. We have an Eris insert, and then just like before, there's the red refractor, the red wavy refractor to match the base refractor, and there's that nice Luca. Oh, dang it, I dropped it again. And we're back, BC. Wasn't that exciting?
Very exciting.
I can't believe I didn't pull a card that's going to change my life financially.
After all those promises made to you. It's disappointing. Yeah, no, it's but it's the thrill of the rip, you know?
It's true.
When if I saw one of those on shelves, I would absolutely snag it. I have not seen them on any of the shelves. I've been to a couple Walmarts and a Target. I always check to see. They haven't had any blasters that I've been able to see, so I have been resigned to just buying my singles slowly but surely. For the price of one blaster box, I got a Werner Herzog, and then I picked up these 3 Andor characters.
Yeah, that's sick.
For pretty much the same deal. So, yeah, as a degenerate who loves perhaps packs, I would love nothing more than to see a blaster box or 2 in the wild.
I bought these because, one, I was curious, and my wife and I like opening a blaster together, and we have a show where I could open another. I will say, I could have spent that $50 in ways that would have entertained me for much longer than ripping. The red parallels are cool. I like the purple ones in the last one, but considering how it seems your odds of getting an actual numbered parallel are basically 0 because they guarantee you these, it's not a good trade for me. You know, like it lessens the thrill to be like, oh, there's some red back there. All right, it's going to be one of those worthless retail parallels. But it is a cool pattern. Oh! Dropped it right into a candle, BC.
Oh, no. Oh, little Luke. Man down.
Luke.
Oh, no, Luke.
But here we are in the lobby, BC.
Hey, welcome to the lobby. What a rip. Job well done.
Hey.
Just a general question. Star Wars Outlaws?
Yeah, I have a gift card to a local game store, and I've been waiting for the right opportunity to go play it. Wasn't really interested in it at all in the lead up to the game, just because it looked like a worse version of the new Fallen Order game. You know, the combat looked pretty weak. Customization didn't seem to be much of a thing. Anyway, then when it came out, it's got kind of you know, middling reviews in the 70s, I think, probably on Metacritic. But that's better than I was expecting. And a lot of
Mhm.
people I know have said this is a really fun game to just walk around in and look at pretty Star Wars environments.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, I could probably do some of that before I go to bed at night, and maybe I'll be surprised.
My thing is, games are so expensive now
Yes.
that
Well,
my
only a little
next,
bit more than a couple blaster boxes of
yeah,
trading cards.
I suppose that's true. Um, that I'm like, the next game I purchase is going to be one that I'm like, I want to spend time with it and not feel let down or disappointed. So this one's definitely like on my radar. You know, like I like open world games. It's Star Wars. I don't, nothing about it outside of the like, hey, it's an open world game has really, it's a Star Wars open world game has really been like compelling to me.
I'll say
Like,
the biggest thing for me is the ship design of your ship is just completely visually uninteresting to me. It looks like a Disneyland like shuttle, and that is maybe the biggest deterrent. Has just been like, I don't really like that ship. I don't want to fly around in that. That's been,
yeah,
which is stupid, but it.
I thought about this. I've also thought about Baldur's Gate
Uh huh.
as like my next like foray into something that I'm wildly excited to play, but
I
have heard good things about. You know.
My wife and I are playing Baldur's Gate split screen together right now. You know, I've heard from many people that it's one of the best games ever made. I do not dispute that. Me personally, I would not be playing this game if it weren't if I couldn't enjoy it next to my like playing with my
Right.
wife.
Right.
A lot of dialogue options, and it is for a game that has achieved such mainstream success. It is wild how much it does not hold your hand, and how frustrating it can be. I mean, it is like playing a D&D campaign. And I've heard how wildly different the outcomes can be. I've been a little frustrated with it because the last time we played together, after finally getting through some really frustrating scenarios that I thought were poorly designed, we played the same section over 3 different ways, doing 3 different things, and the outcome was exactly the same every time. So I'm sure that will change because I've heard nothing except that it's like wild how different the outcomes can be. But
Right.
aside from being able to kill main characters, so far I haven't experienced that. Like the first thing
Yeah.
that happened, the first fight we got into, this guy who's on the front of the box came in and was like, "Aha, I'm here to help." And he jumped right in front of a pool of enemies and died in a way that he could not be revived. And you know, I looked it up online and everyone was like, "Yep, he's just dead." You know, like that's it. The biggest face on the box is now dead forever in your game because he was stupid. And also because there was a bug where one of my other characters didn't follow me. So
Oh,
anyway, it's been a little
fun.
frustrating for me, but I was just expecting a much more streamlined experience than other CRPGs I've played in the past, and that hasn't been the case. But it is a
Let me
very
ask you
high
about this.
quality.
Let me pick your video game brain about this because this is one from the archives that I've been thinking about. Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah, I would
It-
recommend Cyberpunk in its current state for sure.
okay, yeah.
That is a game I played.
Um,
One of the only games I've ever played like every quest dry on. I like
okay.
like a year or two after it came out, whenever it was in good
I
enough
just
shape.
loved I loved all of the like, hey, this thing is not ready for the public, but it's out there. And I was like, I'm sure they will fix this game. It's just funny that for whatever reason they're like, we gotta launch it. Um, but I do love living in a world where like we can fix it. Your cartridge, you know, isn't gonna have a broken game forever that you're stuck with. Like we'll fix the game, we promise. Um, but that's always one that I've heard good things about, even after like all of the hey, the launch was a total wet fart.
Yeah,
But if I'm looking at like open worldy, you know, time consuming games, I think that
I
might
haven't
be a
played
direction.
Outlaws, but I would definitely recommend Cyberpunk ahead of Outlaws. It's a very immersive, complete experience. I do have it on disc for PlayStation 4, which means I have an unupgraded raw, just like copy where, I mean, seriously, just the funniest glitches in the world. I played it as a glitch hunt at first, and it was just incredible. Just bodies falling out of the sky, you know, cars setting on fire, and your gun disappearing. You're just holding the air, shooting it. There was one. My favorite was there was a guy on the street corner who was yelling, and he was just a constant stream of piss, just an unending stream of piss.
Been there, brother.
Yeah, but it is
that's so funny.
It is in much better shape. It's very much a No Man's Sky situation where it's like, oh, hey, they actually got it to the point where it's kind of like what they said it was gonna be.
Man, No Man's Sky, I played that like on release, and I got the like you can just go forever, but it never got to the point of like, at least for me, being interesting. I've heard that it got better over time, but the initial like there's a trillion billion worlds out there, you can do anything. It's like, all right.
It is
After a while, I was like, we're just kind of like generating random planets with resources and stuff, and it felt very repetitive.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, it is a completely different game than it was at launch. But I still play it. Or I've been playing recently, like every night.
I should
as a nighttime.
I should jump back in just to see. You know,
it's still like a, you know, it's kind of farmy, and the way I play is I have it set up where I've leveled up everything, and this helps me jump back in when I forget how everything works. I just built. I got the most, like the highest tier equipment for I make money by scanning things. So I have this giant freighter, and I have a giant fleet of ships that I send on missions, and you can land on every ship and get out and look at the stars and whatever. And then I just jump to new planets and I scan weird monsters that have been randomly generated, and you know, make money and go on to the next star system. It's very much like a sleepy time game.
I like that. That's nice.
But yeah, I'm also playing it on the Switch, so it looks like an N64 game. My version, like
that's fun.
It is kind of cool to have low res No Man's Sky.
Solid. I like that.
I beat Metro 2033 last night. But I think that's enough video game talk. We got anything else in the lobby, Beasley?
I think we did it. I think we did it all.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess, do we have a goodbye slide? We usually do. Yep. Look at that.
Yeah. Hey, you always, you know, I like having Kino Loy be our one way out guy for our final slide, you know?
I imagine they bring Kino Loy back in 20 years and it's awful. Oh, we got a Skeleton Crew trailer, BC. We forgot our Skeleton Crew hype.
I forgot. We got so caught up in becoming Sea-Doo guys.
Oh, we forgot
that we completely missed the Skeleton Crew. Well, that's something for next time, obviously.
Yeah.
Initial reactions is obviously it's going to be probably the best show ever.
Yeah.
So we've never wavered from that opinion. I did activate our Twitter account just to let everyone know that the cargo bay was super stoked about Skeleton Crew.
I appreciate it.
I haven't got a lot of traction on that from Disney yet, but you know, still, I need to be more diligent about how wildly enthusiastic we are for Skeleton Crew.
We'll be at the premiere. Don't worry, everybody.
Yeah. We're going to be on the
BC and I will do
carpet.
a live stream from the premiere of Skeleton Crew. Yeah. I can promise you that.
It is genuinely funny. It's genuinely funny to me that if we really pushed the bounds of our resources, that we could in some way crash a version of the Skeleton Crew premiere and be like, we did it! We're here! This is what we've been waiting for.
I imagine I could burn a lot of bridges and Skeleton Crew premiere. I know people in Hollywood.
Yeah. Hey. Can I get a red carpet for this?
All
Don't
right.
be surprised.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody, especially if you made it all the way to the end.
And I know you cargo babies do. I see it coming. Appreciate you.
Y'all are the realest. Until next time, BC, I am ready at your command.
Shoom. Yes.
Appointed.